Hello, welcome to Ekidel, where we train future civil and structural engineers. My name is Fashe Ochet. Today, we want to see how we can detail our slab. As you can see, this structure is for a client. And how are we going to detail our slab? You'll discover that you can model it very well after modeling, analyzing, and design even further by interacting with your members. Yes, at the end you discover that it's very safe. As good as that, I can tell you that your building can still collapse. Why? Because if you have a poor detailing. So that is why in this lesson we want to see how we can detail our slab. Now let's check this our structure to see whether it is safe. Now looking at this, we discover that our structure is what? Perfectly okay. As you can see, this one means for fail, warning, expire analysis. Green means what? Okay. The white is what? Not design, and the rest. So for this structure, it means what? Looking at the design status, it's telling us our structure is okay. And at times in Ekidel, we advise our members or engineers that after designing, modeling, designing, and analyzing, it's very important for you to interact with your members, because if you don't interact with your member, at times the software don't depend on software solely. It's not good as an engineer, especially a structural engineer, for you to depend solely on what? On the software. It's very important to interact with your members, with your designs. So that is why Ekidel is a place where we train engineers, structural engineers. So now, looking at our purpose for this structure, for this lesson, we want to see how we can detail this structure for this our particular client. And if you look at Prota detail, it's not actually good at all. It's not presentable. So if you look at this place called load Prota detail, by the time we click on this, we discover that what we are going to get is something of this nature. So this is the building. And as you can see, the output of this slab from Prota detail, you cannot take this one to site at all. This is a mess. If you take this one to site, even the engineer at site might get confused because it's not properly what? Detailed. And if you also look at the slab, the columns from the Prota detail, is not actually welcoming. If you take this one to your architect might not even call you for the next structural designs. That is the truth, because architects, they are also what? Advanced in knowledge. So if you take this one to them, but for you to get a better and more architect, because you know that as structural engineers, we cannot do without an architect. We work hand in hand. So if you give your architect a good design, you discover that you can even introduce another architect to you. And how can you have a good output that is so appealing? Can I tell you that you have no cause to worry? That's why we have this software called STONEBRIDGE Detailing Template Catalog. This is 2024 version of this particular software. As you can see here, this software is very fantastic. I can bet you very fantastic. If you're a structural engineer that you are using Protastructure, it's meant for you. If you are a type of a structural engineer that uses Orion software for your structural design, it's also for you. And if you are the type that uses Staad Pro as an engineer, it's also meant for you. This software also go further to ensure what? Bar bending schedules, which is very important. And as you can see on this other side, we discover that we have different types of foundation. And this structure, this software rather, we discover that in case you design, and you know that when we are designing, looking at this one as our example, this one building is what? Is padded. This is a pad foundation. We use pad foundation for this structure. And therefore, how can we detail? Because every foundation have their own way of detailing. So you cannot use the method of detailing a white strip foundation for pad foundation. It's not correct. So that's why this software is so fantastic, that will guide you and help you on how to detail. Now looking at this structure, looking at this our structure here, as you can see, so it's pad what? Pad foundation. And as I've said, we want to learn how we can detail this structure. Now looking at this is a mess. This one is from Protastructure. So this is how the Protastructure detail their work. It works. So if you print this one, it's not too good. And as I've said, we want to concentrate today on how to detail this particular slab. Now, if I go back to my software, I will advise you to get this software as a structural engineer. As a structural engineer, if you don't have this software, can I permit me to say that you're actually missing, because this software is so fantastic. Now, based on our structure that is on what? Is on pad foundation. Let's now see, as a structural engineer, what do? You come to this place, we call pad, and click. And once you click on this is what comes up for you. This comes up, and this guides you how to detail your structure that is being designed on pad. As you can see, this is on pad foundation. This guides you on how you can detail your structure on pad foundation. Now looking at this, it's expected that when it comes to foundation layout, this is how it should be done. And likewise, when it comes to your column type rather, so this is how it's expected of you to do it. And if you look at this column, how it's well detailed, well understood. So now let's compare it with that of a Protastructure. Let's see what it gives us. You can see this one. You can see that you cannot compare it at all. You can't compare it. Heaven is far from the earth, so you can't compare it. It's far from each other compared to this one. If you give your client or architect this one, he will really appreciate it. So STONEBRIDGE template is very, very good. It helps you to detail. And when it comes to your beam arrangement and your slab, you can see the thickness of your slab is being shown, your beam, everything, proper arrangement. This particular software is meant for you. And when we now come to our lesson, which is for today, you can see this. You can see this software is guiding us on how to detail our slab. And you know, slab is very important when it comes to detailing. So you can now imagine this, compare this. Even you that is watching, that is listening to me, you can see that if you are being given this and also come and give you something of this nature, I bet you will choose the other one, the one from STONEBRIDGE, isn't it? You can't present this one because even this one will irritate you at sight, isn't it? So we want to learn how we can detail this particular structure in the way that STONEBRIDGE have given to us. Looking at this, you can see clean, clear, accurate, and fantastic. As I have said, you need to bring up something appealing that next time the architect will not hesitate to do what? To call you, even introduce to another person. In case you have not subscribed, I will beseech you to subscribe to our Ekidel channel so that you can have access to our videos. And coming to beams, you can see this beam well arranged. And you notice something, that when you want to detail at times, you discover that your beams, your reinforcement might not be clear. And if you try to make it clearer, it might be too big. And if you want to reduce it to, it might be too small. But this software will help you to come out with accurate dimension that is very clean and clear, not too small, not too big, that is readable at sight. I can bet you this software is fantastic. Each time I carry my designs, I'm always happy. Why? Because I find it so easy to do what? To detail my slab. So that is why on this lesson we want to learn how to detail our slab. It's very, very important. It's very, very important. So it's very, very important. So that is why on this note we want to see how we can detail this particular one. Because you can see this one here, as you can see this, so the same thing that is here is what I have here, but the only thing is that I've removed all this reinforcement that came from Protastructure because I don't need it. What I need is this one. So this is what we are going to be exporting to or copying into our STONEBRIDGE template detailing catalog. As I said, this 2024 version. We have other versions, but I would advise you to go for this particular version, irrespective of software you are using for your design. So this structure, we are going to start detailing this structure. And as I've shown you, you can see this, how it's expected of you for your software, for your output to look at clean and clear. So therefore, on this note, let's move on and see how we can detail this particular slab here. That's what we are going to be concentrating on. So in case you don't know, I want to tell you that Ekidel has a mentorship class whereby we train engineers. We train them specially, and you know that it's a free channel, and as a free channel, it's not everything we give out. All what we are giving you is accurate. Anywhere you go to, within the country, outside the country, they are accurate. But we cannot go further because this is a free channel. And if you want to get everything that we have, everything that we know, you need to enroll to our mentorship class, which is not expensive. I want to advise you to do that. So on this ground, let's move on and see how to do magic through software called STONEBRIDGE detailing template. Let's go there. As I said, this software is not expensive at all. It's not expensive. It's cheap. All you need to do, just get to our channel and get your software. Any software you will need, Ekidel is there for you. So let's move on and see how we can detail our slab, this particular structure. All right, welcome once again. So we want to see, as we have said, we want to see how we can detail this slab. So as I said, we want to see how we can detail this slab. So what we are going to do now is to copy our slab into STONEBRIDGE. So let's copy this slab to our STONEBRIDGE and see how we can start our detailing. So therefore, I've copied So the next one is to go to my, as I said, we are going to use pad. You know, we are using pad, isn't it? We are using pad. So we are using pad. Therefore, I go, by the time I click on my pad foundation, it comes up with this. So since it's here, I want to tell you that for me to paste it, you don't paste outside this place, outside this box. If you want to paste, don't paste outside this box. You paste it inside this box provided. So what I will do now, I will zoom it. I will zoom it and paste it inside the box. Click on paste. Let's allow it to come up. Now it has come up, isn't it? It has come up. So you can now click and let's see. So these are our slab, our panels. So we want to start our detailing now. So how do we do that? First of all, let me even do something. Let me compare and you see, to show you something. Let me copy to see the magic of this software, to see how powerful this software is. So let's see our slab, our beam from Prota, and see, let's copy and take it to STONEBRIDGE and see what will happen to our beams. So let's see, let me just copy this because of time. Let me just copy this few one and let me just take it there. Please just take note of how it is here. So let me copy it and take it to my STONEBRIDGE, so and see how it can help us to do some little magic. It will reduce your work up to 85%. So which is good enough. So let me now paste it and see what we are going to have. Let's see. Let's allow it, let it come up. You see, automatically it has changed. You can see it has changed. Accurate dimensions. You can see it will come out clean and clear. You can see. If you print this, I bet you your client will really appreciate it. That's STONEBRIDGE for you. So as I said earlier on, that you need to get this particular software. So let's start. Now, I've been giving us example on how to detail the slab, which I've shown you before. But since we want to start now, let's go back again and start. So this is how to detail. We are going to detail our slab. And this lesson, we are going to be looking at part 1 of the slab detailing of this particular structure. As I said, part 1 is what we'll be looking at of this particular structure. So what I will do now, is to copy this. Sample that has been given to us. I will copy it and take it to where as my sample. Please don't move it. All you need to do is to copy it and move it to where we want to use it, inside this box, close by, and put it here. Now, since I've put it here, for me to differentiate it, I'll just have a form of a cross. Then just to see that yes, this is not my work. I only want to use it to detail this particular software. So how do you do that? Let's start. Now, looking at this, these are our panels. Now, for us to detail this, all you need to do is to first of all pick your line, and from this edge of this beam, let's move it. Let's take it. And having known that in the market, our reinforcement, our rod, is the length is what 12 meters. Even though at times, if you look at it, it's not, by standard, it's 12 meters. So the highest your rod can run on a slab is what, 12 meters. But we advise our structural engineers, that the highest you should use should not be more than 10.5 meters. But because of this structure, let's see what we can achieve. So now, looking at this, I'm going to drop it here. I would have said I'll drop it here, but you discover that there is something here. The way it runs at this point, it will change because we're going to have a return bar here. So on this ground, so I'll click on this. Let me make it thick. Let me change it. I would love to change, or I make it thicker. Let me go to my layer and pick this. So you can see. So now, having gotten this, what I will now do is take my concrete cover. You know that concrete cover is very important, and for me to do that is to have my 25 concrete cover. So I'll click on this, then I'll come here, this place, now take it back by what, 25, enter. So as you can see, I have this. So let's now take the measurement and see if we are actually correct. You can see 25, isn't it? 25 our concrete cover. So therefore, I'll go to my line and then take my thickness of my reinforcement, which is, don't forget that based on our design, what do we use? Based on our design from here, based on our design from here, we discovered that was our thickness of slab. Our thickness of slab from this place is 150. As you can see, it's 150. So since it's 150 on this ground, so here we are going to be removing our concrete cover. And our concrete cover from the top, you know that the top is 25, bottom is 25. So out of 150, if you remove 50, we are left with what? 100. So that is why we are now going to take this one up and have our what? 25. That's, sorry, 100. Enter. And this is our 100. You can see it here. So we are going to have what we call return bar. Our return bar. How do you have your return bar? You don't just put it anywhere. You just click anywhere. It has a formula. And the formula is what? 50D. What I say? 50D. Now, that D stands for the kind of reinforcement you are using. The kind of reinforcement you are using. If I'm using Y16, then it's going to be 50 times 16. But looking at our structure here, from Protastructure, looking at our structure, what do we use? What type of reinforcement? You see, Y12. That's what we use. So therefore, we are going to have 50D. We will now have what we call, let's use our calculator. 50 multiplied by 12. Remember, so what do we have? 600, which means our return bar from here inside is what? That's 600 times 600. So enter. So this is what we have. So what I'll do, I'll just match my property. It's very fast, very fast, fantastic. So I'm done with this. So notwithstanding, at this place, which means this is my slab, by the time we start our call out, as I said, this is part 1. We are going to concentrate on how to bring out the arrangement of our reinforcement. First of all, the bottom bars, bottom reinforcement. Part 2, we'll be talking about top reinforcement. While part 3, we now start calling out our reinforcement, which is very important. Now I'm coming here. All I need to do, because definitely I will not stop here. My reinforcements have to enter the next slab by what? By 600, which is my lapping. So I enter 600. So that is that. And coming to this other aspect again, I'm done with this slab for this x-axis. For this direction, I'm done with this slab. Now coming to this particular one, we discover that from here, we can have a reinforcement that move from here up to this place. If you look at it from here to this place, why? Because if you look at this place, they are on the same line, and also this one, it can go. So therefore, I'll go back again. Sorry, let me make it choose my line. Yes. So now I can go back and take this from this point here to this particular point here. Thank you. So this point here, I don't need to have my return bar because it's still within the slab. What I need to do, and at this point too, you can still enter this slab. So what I'll do, I'll take move it by what? 600. Remember how we got our 600 into this particular slab. Is that okay? So now, which means that this reinforcement, this one from here like this, on this axis, I'm done with it. You can see how fast it is compared to what Prota detailing was giving us. So you can imagine you want to start bringing out all of this, start calling it out, remove it one after the other, clean and all of that. It will take a hell of time. So therefore, let's proceed. So now on this ground, if I should say this same reinforcement should go up, don't forget we have a what? Cantilever here, and we have a void around this this junction where my cursor is. We have a void in that we have a void in this particular place, so it cannot run from here to that place. So therefore, which means that we are going to have a kind of reinforcement, because at this point here we are going to have what we call return bar. So what will I do? I pick my line, I come here, I come to this point again, click, and come to this point at this point here and click. So therefore, all I need to do, I will do what? Bring out my concrete cover from this point. I'll bring out my concrete cover, I click, then at this edge, bring it in. It's so fast, and which is 25. Don't forget, it's 25. Let's zoom it and see. Yes, we have this 25. So I take my line also, which is a L, enter, then take it up, then which is what? 100. You remember how we got our 100. So what's our return level of our return? You say is what? 600, which is a 50D, and our D is what? Is 12. So that's why we got this 600. which means that you can see the way of detailing this place is different from how this place is being done. Different from how this place, how this place is being done. So therefore, at this point, we are going to have a return bars. While at this place, we don't have any return bar. So on this ground, I'm done with this aspect. So you can see how fast it is. So as I said, this is part 1. We are going to concentrating on the arrangement of our reinforcement. The second part will be on what? On our top reinforcement. This bottom reinforcement we are going to concentrate on. While the part 3 will be talking about how to call out all our reinforcement. In fact, it's going to be fantastic. We are going to make use of this particular example that this software have provided for us, and at the end, I can bet you it's going to be wow. So now let's continue from where we stopped. Now pick my line, I click on my line and also come to this place. On my y-axis, I pick my line, I also run my reinforcement. I run my reinforcement from here. I bring it to this place. Sorry. As I said, I pick my line. I come here, click, and also stop at this point. Or no. I can extend it. Up to this point. Yes, I can extend it up to this point. So what will I do? I also have my cover. I have my cover, which is what? 25. Now I extend it. I brought it in. Then also, so we take this. We have taken our 25. As you all know, definitely form work. There's form work. So the distance between the form work and your reinforcement is that 25 we are talking about. So I come here, I pick my line. At this point, I take my thickness, which is 100. You remember how we got our 100? Enter. Then come back and take our return bar. And remember our 650D. Which says 600. Enter. So escape. So you can see we have this. So now on this ground, we also go further. So that is that. So we have this. Then at this point, also we have a slab here, isn't it? So we have a slab here. So what do? This reinforcement also have to enter into this slab by what? By 600. So enter. So we have this escape. So that is that. So now, which means that our reinforcement here runs from this direction. Don't worry, by the time we get to part 3, we get to see how we can call out our reinforcement. So at this point, what is the next thing? So if you now look at this place like this, the way my cursor move, we can reinforce it as one altogether. So what do? I pick my line again. I come here. Since I have my lapping here, I'll decide to let me use this direction. I can have it here, come here and come down to this end of this beam, click here. Then don't forget, we have to have our concrete cover. That's the space between our form work and the reinforcement, which is 25. So we take it in 25, enter. You can see our 25. So what the next thing we do is to also take our thickness, which is 100. We know how we got our 100. 150 divided minus 50, so give us 100. So that's for the that 50 is for both top and bottom. So our return bar also, we talk about what? 600. I believe you still remember 600. So that is that. So you can see now we are done with this. So which means that this one can go at any length. By the time we start our third part 3 of this slab detailing, which is the call out of our reinforcement, you understand it better. That's why I would advise you to follow this detailing, slab detailing from A to Z. So that is that. So now when it comes to this other direction, now let's have this wider direction. Our X direction, we can have it from here this way, and also, excuse me, let me start from here. Let me repeat. From here, from this point here, let me have it, okay, from this point here up to this. So then before then, I cannot have my this. Let me also have my, it's practical. When we get to site, this is what we do, isn't it? So I have my 25. That's my concrete cover between the reinforcement and my form work. Then take my line, move up with 100. You know how we got the 100. yes, then go back with 600. Now we've got our 600 for the return bar, and that is that. Then coming to this other side, then you have to watch. It's when you are doing this, you have to understand your panels. So you look at this one, there's a slab here, but at this point there's no slab. Do you get the point? There's no slab here. Is that okay? There's no slab here. So which means that for me, I will do something. Let me take this one back. Let me take this back. Sorry, I'll take this back up to this. I'll take it back up to this level. You know why? Because if I'm to run this, it's going to stop somewhere. Why? Because this place is a void. Are you seeing now? This place is a void. So to avoid not to take it off, so what will I do? I pick my line again. Let's be a little bit fast. Okay, before then, let me take this my reinforcement into this slab with what? With 600. So 600. Enter. So then pick my line, and then also take from here. Now up to this slab. Let me use this slab. Yes, I can make use of this slab. Yes, I can make use of this slab. Very good. Okay. Yes, I can make use of this slab. So now come to this place. Now I can enter this slab here because there's a slab here with what? With my 600. That's the lapping. 600. 600. Good. Then how this one runs. By the time we start our call out of reinforcement, you'll get to know how it runs. So therefore, I'm going to pick another one that will run from this place, because this place there's going to be return bars to hold this one back, to hold this our beam back. So what do I do? This one will not also reach to the end. So if I like, I can just bring out my return bar. Is that okay? If I like, I can have my return bar from here. Let me say, no, let me just do it how I want it to be. This one run from so place and reach stop at so place. So I can take it from here, from this point, and also come here. Then at this point, I take my concrete cover. You see, it's very, very fast. I will not lie to you. It's very, very fast. I return it with 25. That's good. Then pick my line. Then come here. Come to this. Take my 100. Then take my return bar as what? 600. Sorry, what's happening? Okay, undo. So let me take it back. 100 up. Okay, sorry. 100. Yes, good. Then my 600 return bar. Good. You see, the distance between this reinforcement and this outside edge here is what? 25, and that's to stand for what? Our concrete cover between our reinforcement and our formwork. I believe I've explained that one. So you can see now that this pattern here is different from the pattern here. This one can run, it can still go further, but here it cannot go like that because we have to return it, because this place is what? It's a void. Is that okay? So which means that this one, the way I'll call out this one will be different from how I'll call out this one for this particular place. But notwithstanding, what about our horizontal line from this slab? So what do we do? Please, I want you to listen very well. So what do we do at this point? But before then, let me take off this. So I can now come here. Let's detail this particular slab to this place. Then what do I do? What do I do? Move on. What do I do? So I take my, is this one a slab? Okay, yes, it's a slab. So what do I do? I take it inside, which was 600 as my lapping. Stand there. So this one move from here to here. That is that. We are done with that. But notwithstanding, we have to detail this. Very, very important. From here to this place, it has to be detailed. So what do we do? Pick our line, which is now my reinforcement. I call it my own reinforcement now. Start from there to this. If I want, yes. If I want the same thing that it runs. Okay. It runs, yes. I can let me put it here, bring it here, and then at this point, I have my concrete cover from here, 25. Enter. Then pick my line. Then at this point, I have my reinforcement thickness 600. Then I have my return bar as what? 600. Good. So that holds that beam back. And also, because this place is a void, I also have to do the same thing here. And take my 25, yes. Then pick my line and come here. Sorry. Pick my line. Come to this point and take my reinforcement thickness, which is 100. You remember how we got the 100, and then we take it back as what? 600. Notwithstanding, I want to tell you that we also have another product in Ekidel. You know, as engineers, definitely this staircase now I'm going to design it, isn't it? I'm going to design it. For me to design it with this a tickle of an eye, Ekidel has a software Ekidel. In Ekidel, there's this software that we normally use called KC Soft. This software is fantastic. Within some seconds, just enter your parameters, it designs it for you. So you don't have any cause for alarm to be thinking of time, how to meet up with clients. That's why Ekidel is a place to be. If you want to be trained, as I said, we have a mentorship class where we train people specially. We go further than the free channel. As I said, it's fantastic. KC Soft. The name of the software is called KC Soft. It's mainly for staircase design. So let's proceed. And it's not free, as you know, it's not free, and it's not also that expensive. It's something affordable. Is that clear? So now, coming to this particular aspect now, if you look at this, if you look at this space, this from here to here, this is our vertical. Like we have not detailed it. We have not given out our reinforcement. So what do? We pick I pick my reinforcement in form of line, then bring it down. How will it run? Can it run through? Yes, it can run. Just the way this one, it can run from here to here. Can I make it like this? Up to this? Yeah, I can say yes. I can say yes. I can say it can run because this one stops in a particular place. It stops somewhere, and this one also have to continue. You see what I'm doing here? I'm not going to repeat it on this side. You know why? Because this one is the same building. It's just semi-detached. What we have here is what we have here. So all I need to do is to write it here that what the kind of reinforcement that is here should be repeated on this particular side. Is that okay? So now let's proceed. So at this point, I bring out my concrete cover, which is 25. Enter. Then pick my line. 100. Sorry. 100. Enter. Then my return bar 600. I've explained how we got 600. Is that okay? So that is that. And let me see. First of all, let's see. According to what we have explained before, let's see what's our dimension from here, from this point to this point. What's our dimension? 12 points, which means it's more than. Can you see now? It's more than our reinforcement in the market. So what do we do? I cut it off. I divide it. Do you get the point now? I divide it. In fact, I don't even need it because there's one that goes. If you look at this, it goes. So I don't need this. So what do? Sorry, I remove this. I remove this. You know, we take time to teach because, as I said, it's practical. We deal with practical because this particular project is meant for a client. So what do? I can click on this. Please take note of this particular point because we are talking about cantilever here. So I can take it and bring it up to this point, up to this level. Is that okay? Yes, very okay. You know, do you remember when I was showing you when I was moving my cursor around here like this? Do you remember? Okay, this one stands for it. So therefore, on this point, I come to this place. I also take my cover of this, bring it in by what? Can you tell me 25? That is good. So 25. Then I also come here, pick my line. It's very, very fast. It's because we are teaching. That's why it seems as if it's taking time. Then 100. If not, by now I should have done with this. So then, for me to do this one, I don't just enter my 600 from this point immediately. No, I come to the center of this beam, click. Then from this center of this beam, I'll not take my 600. You understand now? 600. You can see it. So this is how it runs. Is that clear? So and this one also, from here and this one, they move alongside each other. This one, you can see it here. So looking at this, invariably we are done with our reinforcement here. No, okay, remain small, because this slab we have not finished. So we are going to do what? Carry our line, pick our lines, and come to this place. Come here, click, and also take my reinforcement to this place. So what do? I need to take my reinforcement spacing, which is 25 inside because of my what do you call it? Hope this is no more. Okay, it's okay. Because of my formwork, the space between my formwork and my reinforcement, which I've explained before. So then 100, move it by 100, and take it in by what? 600. I enter. So now also come to this point to hold this beam also back, because as I said earlier, this place what is a void. It's a void. So what do? I take it, I click, and I bring it down 25. Enter. Also pick my line, move it, then also with what? 100. enter, return it with what? 600, enter. So you can see how we have detailed this particular place. So when it comes to the time we want to call out, we now see how fantastic this thing will be. At the end, when you print this work, it's going to be wow. And not to forget, if you have not subscribed to our channel, Ekidel, please, I would advise you to do that, because we are going to learn a lot. Beyond what you have been taught in school, you are going to learn a lot. There are a lot that you are going to learn, I can bet you, in Ekidel. Don't forget to subscribe and also to give us a thumbs up if you like this our video. Thank you. As I said, this is part 1 of our slab detailing, which is bottom reinforcement. So the next part, which is part 2, we are going to talk about what? Top reinforcement. That one also has a formula, you just position it anyhow. And part 3, we'll be talking about calling out our reinforcement. So next time when we meet, I remain your friend, Engineer Fasher Chet. Thank you very much, and God bless. As I said, we are going to make use of this to detail all of this. It's going to come out just as this one is, perfectly okay. Next part, we are going to complete the arrangement of our reinforcement and also do our call out in part 3. As I've said, this place I don't need to detail it. Why? Because it's the same thing. What we have here is what we also have at this point. What we have here is what we have at this point. Till we meet for the part 2 of this slab detailing. Thank you. Sorry, there's something here that we need to do. This one have to come in. This one have to come in with what? 600. Sorry. Good. Perfectly okay. We are good to go. Thank you.